Good afternoon. What's up, y'all?
What's up?
Listen, we're going to jump into this, but let me go ahead and post this and share this out because I don't think the notification went out. This is what I'm talking about with Stream, y'all. I scheduled this live 11 o'clock this morning. So I don't know why the notification didn't go out, but we're gonna go ahead and we are going to forward it out anyway, and we're gonna get this party started. Welcome to the people who are here. Thank you. Hey, Lock Queen, first one in the room, quintessential China White. Dami, I got something to show you in a quick second. Let me share this out. I hope everybody is doing well. Happy. Oh no, today's Thursday. I was gonna say happy Hump Day, but it is not Hump Day. It is actually Thursday. Thank you to my members that are in the room, quintessential China White. Special shout out for my members in the room. Hey, Markel. I was gonna call you today. I gotta ask you about something too. I need to call you. So how's it going, y'all? How you doing today?
Uh, I'm good. Just trying to mentally get myself prepared for Yom Kippur, which starts at sunset. no,
Oh, so you gotta hurry up and get off of here.
no. It's not that. It's just Yom Kippur. It's a 25-hour fast, and then
Oh, so you.
also there's a lot of repenting that I have to do in 25 hours.
Oh, it's like a time of like meditation and refreshing and all of that.
No, it's time of repentance. So pretty much what happens is like you have Rosh Hashanah, which is the Jewish New Year, and then the time between that and Yom Kippur is when you're supposed to go to individual people that you may have wronged within the last year and ask them for forgiveness because in Judaism, God cannot absolve you from human sin. So if I do you wrong, I can't be like, hey, God, forgive me for what I did to really be like, you have to relieve me from that. God can. But then on Yom Kippur, that's when you're asking God to forgive you for all the sins that you committed against him. So it's a process.
Okay, well I'll be expecting my phone call when we get off of here. Thank you.
I'm not taking back the hair comments, so it just is what it is. We've been there, done that. Okay, I've already
I will
apologized.
be waiting for my phone call when we get out of here.
Uh,
Anyway,
Look,
uh,
if you ain't got it by now, you ain't gonna never, ever, never, ever get it. But what
not
happened?
if you ain't got it by now. Well, I know that's why I didn't have to go to work today, is because it was Yom Kippur. So I thought that it was all day today. I didn't realize it started at sunset. So then wouldn't
Yeah.
it have made more sense for us to be off tomorrow if
Yep.
they're honoring the holiday for people who are going to be fasting tomorrow? Wouldn't that make more sense?
It would have.
Okay. But I guess because today is the actual day of Yom Kippur, I guess that's why. But it seems to me like because again, I never knew I mean, I knew it was a Jewish holiday, but I didn't know. But that seemed like that would make more sense that tomorrow would be the day. But anyway, that's why I didn't have to go to work today. But before we get started, because we got some stuff to discuss, honey. Before we get started, I do want to do this quick unboxing. And thank you so much because Dami is in the room. So you guys know the other day, I don't be on here begging a lot, but I was sort of begging a little bit. Um, I had put up my Amazon wish list and I had said, oh no, this is not from Dami. I thought this is what you had sent me. This is not what you sent me. Wait a minute, is it? Hold on, let me make sure. No, this is not
Okay,
what you.
wait, really, be?
Yeah.
Can I correct myself right quick? I didn't messed up. Yom Kippur was yesterday. Lord have mercy. Oh well, I'm off by a day.
So then that's why we were off today then.
That's
Okay.
why you're off today. So I
Okay.
don't have my days mixed up. I am a bad Jew. I'm a bad little boy.
It's okay. Dami, I thought this was your gift. But I know you did say you sent me something. But for the person who sent me this, thank you so much. It will be used because there's no name on here. But you know what? Amazon does this really cool thing with the gift list now is that if the person is anonymous, you can still send them a thank you anonymously. They just give you a QR code that you can scan. So I'm gonna do that for the people who sent me stuff anonymously because thank you so much. It is appreciated. It is very, 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 very much appreciated. I spray my room. They split the order up. Oh, okay. So that was from you. Okay. Mwah. Thank you so much, Tommy. Again, I do appreciate all of you guys. Y'all know I'll be asking a lot, but when I ask, whew, y'all be coming through. All right. let's get into this Real Housewives of Beverly Hills situation. So listen, last night we had the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, and we're gonna get through. The episode started off with this beautiful black man delivering roses and invitations to all of the ladies to their front door. Looked like he was driving a Rolls Royce, and he had on a nice little little outfit, everything. Um, and we found out that they're being invited. Don't do that, Dami. Some people did that. And listen, I appreciate whatever people sent me, but thank you. Mwah. Um, and so we saw that the invitations actually came from Dorit. She is having her launch party. Oh, I'm sorry, China White Girl. Hey, Natalia. Hey, Auntie. The launch party for her wedding gown line. Now, the invitations were actually really pretty. They were like a mirror, and it was like etched into the mirror. Really beautiful. I mean, I don't know what you do with it after the damn event, but okay. What do you, how'd you feel? I mean, anything there, y'all, to speak on that you noticed, observations?
She finally got a storyline that lasted all of an episode. Praise God.
Well, all right, praise the Lord. So, and she, and so we see her meeting with her party planner because, of course, the minute you plan an outdoor event is when it is rain is in the forecast. So she's planning for plan B, C, and D, and she's having it at her house, probably because of COVID restrictions. And she's filming this for the show anyway. And she was like, I mean, if we weren't dealing with COVID, I would be having this in a big warehouse, and and she started talking about all this elaborate shit that she would have done. But at the end of the day, it's at her damn house, okay?
But she could have had it in a warehouse. There are warehouses that have ventilation systems to where they're cycling the air. So if she really wanted to, and if this was, she could have had it at a warehouse, especially if she wanted to have more people and could have had everybody spaced out. She being cheap. I mean, I can't count nobody money, but I'm just saying, like, she was lying.
What I'm thinking is, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm thinking that I'm thinking this is connected to production because, hey, what's up, Star? Because they did the same thing with Lisa Rinna and her launch of her product. They had it at the lady's house. I mean, they had it at Crystal's house, and it was really only them. I'm thinking that this is something that that production is restricting them to, because think about it. If they have it at a bigger facility and they invite more people, the production is responsible for the testing and all of that stuff. So I'm wondering if that was connected to production. Because I was like, Lisa Rinna, you're not going to sit here and tell me that you're launching this whole line and this the best you got. Like, I was like, this girl, like, you've been in the business too long for this to be all you giving us for your lipstick launch. You know what I'm saying?
She's giving you the best that she got.
Is that what she's doing? So then we see Eric. I mean, no, well, Erica was there. Erica, Kyle, Kathy, and Lisa Rinna over Kathy's house getting facials. Okay, listen. Did you see our Kathy Hilton land on that floor howling with that damn dog?
I honestly, when I saw that Garcelle wasn't there, didn't get an invite, I pretty much just said fuck Kathy in that episode, in that scene. So that's
but that was an important scene, though.
No. I said fuck Kathy and whatever she had going on because because you didn't go to her event. You didn't tell her that you wasn't going, so there was.
So you feel like Kathy got a problem with Garcelle? Is that what you feel like?
At Frito Lay's event at the end of this damn episode, I wasn't here for.
But that's what I'm saying. So do you feel like Kathy has a problem with Garcelle? Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying, to quote James Colwell, aka Milan Trezor, read between the lines. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. Now, nothing important really happened at this scene other than Kyle and Erica
line.
Huh?
Erica telling the half truth. Because I heard there is a police report to corroborate part of this story, but not everything.
Yeah, I heard about the break-in as well. So Erica is talking to Lisa. Erica doesn't, they're doing the facials 2 at a time, so Erica doesn't go first, conveniently, so her and Kyle can have this side conversation while Lisa Rinna and Kathy are getting their facials done, whatever. And what we get is the story from Erica. The story we get, I'm gonna tell you what the story is first, and then we can dissect it afterwards. Tom's house, her former place of residence, was broken into, and Tom confronted the burglar. And then Tom had to go to the hospital and end up having eye surgery. And her son went to go check on Tom, and on his way home, flipped his car 6 times. But he's all right now. There are so many problems with this story. I don't even know where to begin. Y'all, I'm going to let you start, and then I'm going to jump in. Well, you go.
Okay. First of all, okay. Tom is old. Okay. Tom cousin is the crypt keeper. Okay. He old. They both old. How the hell you make it out of a burglary unscathed? Like, did you have a weapon? Like what happened? And then your heart probably not in the best of conditions to deal with something like that. I feel that happened, but I think that was an inside job of our stuff and then put it off to the side. I think that's what the burglary was. And then he goes and gets eye surgery, but it had nothing to do. Apparently, his glaucoma, stressed out, whatever. Okay, cool, all right, whatever. Then the car flipping so many times and him being unscathed. It's a possibility. Now, I have been in a car that has flipped, but it only flipped. I guess it was just one rotation to where it landed back on, and nothing happened with me, my mother, and my stepfather, and that was years ago. I was a little younger. 5 times, I don't know.
Natalia, you have a valid point. Natalia said, listen, I could call the cops and say my house got broken into. It does not mean that it happened. It does not mean that there's any validity to that story. And I think that that's a valid statement. I think that's a valid point to say that just because I said it, don't make it true. The other thing that I'm going to say about that is this. You didn't, okay, there were so many things that I wasn't clear about in this statement. You said he confronted the burglars. What does that mean? What does that look like? When you say he confronted the burglars, I mean, does that mean he had a gun and he held a gun on this burglar? Did the burglar retreat? Did the burglar punch him in the face? Is that why he needed surgery on his eye? Like, there was a lot that was missing from that story, in my opinion. Then you said my son went to go check on him. Well, how did y'all find out about it? If you're not talking to Tom, now she said she got a phone call at 3 in the morning, but she didn't see it till 6. Who called you? Was it the car alarm? I mean, was it the home alarm people? Was it the police? Because, I mean, you technically are his next of kin. Y'all might be separated, but y'all not divorced yet. So you're still his next of kin. So, I mean, did the police call you? Like, who called you? And then she said it was snowing. Where the hell does your son live?
I don't know.
I mean, I'm not saying that it doesn't snow in California, but where was he driving to that he slipped on the snow? Like, did it snow in LA this winter and I missed it? Because it don't normally snow in LA, does it? That's not a normal thing for LA, is it?
I'm from the Midwest. I can't even tell you. Okay, we get all 4 seasons where I'm at.
We get all 4 seasons too, and I know it gets cold in LA and stuff like that. But is that normal that it snows in LA? Like, I'm just trying to figure this shit out, okay? And Erica said that shit with a straight. Look, somebody said I want to see it with a straight face. She said it with a straight face. Now she didn't say it with any kind of emotion. Like, my thing is this: if you don't have no emotion for Tom, at least have some emotion for your son. Like, she said that shit with a straight face. Like, yeah, the car flipped over 6 times.
Well, she had more emotions about her son when I think it was Eileen had made a reference to him being a cop. She had more.
And all she did was ask about him being a cop. Like she didn't say she didn't say nothing nasty or negative about her son. And Erica went the fuck off. Like that was ridiculous. Like I still don't understand that. Like unless they edited the hell out of that scene, I still don't understand where that came from. But you're right. She showed
But
more
she
emotion.
had more emotion than that. Yeah.
Right. She had more emotion.
I'm sorry. But
no, I'm just saying she had more emotion. But you're absolutely correct. Now, Dami is in LA. Well, he's in California. Dami said it did not snow this winter. Aunt Didi said very rarely does it snow in LA unless you're in the mountains like Big Bear. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know that. You know, I mean, obviously, I know there are other parts, but yeah, I was just thinking because that's where they live. You know, and I'm thinking, well, what in the hell? Not in Southern California, more northern or in the mountains. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. And again, I'm not saying that the accident did not happen, but I'm gonna tell you what I think happened, and this is my opinion. I think Erica combined the two events. I don't think they happened at the same time. I don't think that your son was leaving from checking on Tom. I do believe your son probably got into a car accident. And we know that there's a police record of at least the police being called to Tom's house. Now, what happened before the police got there, I can't say. But I don't know if I believe that all that happened like at one time. Like, you know what I'm saying? Now, Kyle, of course, is like, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Okay.
All right. So, we listen, I like you, Garcelle, but I really don't care about you trying to find a date. So we're just gonna skip right past that. We don't care. Like I wish you well, but girl, moving on. And again, I feel like that's a storyline that people might have cared about if we didn't have all this other stuff going on with Erica. Like I feel like we were supposed to care about Garcelle finding a man. We don't. Dorit goes over to Crystal's house. I mean, Kyle goes over to Crystal's house, and we see that Crystal is redoing her basement, right? I feel like the only purpose of that scene was for Crystal to let Kyle know. Well, let me rewind a little bit. Kyle also was trying to get Erica to try to talk to Sutton, and Erica was like, that ship has sailed. That's never going to happen. I'm done. I'm good. That's it. Did you get anything else from that scene with Kyle and Erica at over to Kathy's house?
No.
Okay. I want to make sure if you had something to add before we move on. So Crystal and
I'm waiting for us to bring up Bethany Frankel. That's where all my energy is going to.
Okay. So next, like I said, we see, I don't know if this is the very next scene, but we're just gonna cover the scenes. Listen, we're gonna get to all of them. So Crystal is complaining about that. Well, she wasn't really complaining, but she was just saying how her husband likes to spend money because his attitude is, I work hard, I'm gonna play hard. Her attitude is, I'm a little frugal, I don't really like spending money unless you spend $35,000 on an Hermes bag that she claims is going to appreciate in value, and she feels okay with spending that kind of money. Girl, go sit down somewhere. I feel like she made that statement thinking it was going to sound good, and then the producers reminded her that she had that $35,000 Hermes bag sitting on the table 3 episodes ago, and she was like, well, I mean, those appreciate in value. Girl, go sit down. Anyway,
I ain't got nothing to say.
I know, I'm just pausing to make sure. So, but I think that that scene was basically so that we could see Crystal once again reminding Kyle that it's okay if people aren't friends. Like, I don't know why Kyle feels like she has to have this kumbaya moment, and it's $95,000. Well, damn, $95,000 for that. Good God.
Yeah.
Okay, y'all. Right.
Yeah, that was the price.
I was off by a lot. So you don't have no problem spending almost $100,000 on a purse. Okay. But you complaining about your husband wanting to have a golf simulator in his own basement. Okay. Like I said in my review, what would Mufafa say?
But here's the other part, though. That's his money.
It absolutely is his money. And I said that too, that I feel like the difference is he works hard for that money so he can spend it. You get your kids to piano lessons on time.
He's still getting royalties off Lion King money. If she don't sit the fuck down.
Yeah, I think he's good. Like I said in my review, I think that if you are taking care of the long term, then I don't have no problem with people playing. Like the problem I have is you spending, $1 million to renovate your basement, and then your car getting repossessed next week. Like that's two different conversations. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like they are more than within their means for him to spend that $1 million on his damn basement. And like she said, the basement that absolutely will increase the value of the home. Girl, sit down. But again, I feel like the purpose of that conversation was two things. One, again, Kyle needs to understand that everybody don't have to be friends. She's like, well, I'm uncomfortable. When you're someplace like that and everybody ain't going to be friends. We're not friends. This is a TV show. We are hired to be on this show. And if Sutton and Erica Jayne don't never speak again, guess what? It ain't bothering me. It ain't going to stop none of my flow. Now, I'm just not that kind of person.
Kyle is a liar because she's not trying to foster any friendships. She's just trying to foster scenes, foster conversation to create conflict. So,
I agree.
because I mean, the reality is we understand people aren't going to get along, and the reality is many of them are not friends. This is a job, so as long as people can be cordial, that's all that it is. But you see that Kyle is constantly trying to push the envelope, like when she did with Sun. I think it was last episode, and Sun just walked off on her ass, and she's like, well, "Where are you going?" Yeah, she's
right. Sutton was like, and I'm done with this. I'm done with this.
She got a fucking storyline to first. So her job right now is just like with Lisa Rinna. Hers is being 10 toes down for Erica. Kyle's is let me continue to stir up the mess so we can keep the spotlight off of me, because now that this had happened, me and Kathy ain't got to sit here and spill all our tea. We know what it is.
Right, baby girl. Kyle wasn't uncomfortable when everybody wasn't friends with Lisa Vanderpump. Facts. I agree, Cameron. I feel like Crystal started the season off strong, but I really could do without her. Like, she has served no purpose after she got Sutton together. She really has served no purpose. And I really don't like her little smug attitude, like, let's be clear, ma'am, you have status because of who your husband is. So please go take several seats. Stop acting like these women are paying, like Natalia said, are paying any attention to you because of who you are. It is about who your husband is and that status. It has nothing to do with you. So please go and take several seats, Crystal. Several. The other thing that I thought was interesting, and I forgot to say this in my review last week, I said it this week, was Kyle trying to talk about well, if you ever have a problem with me, don't go behind my back. Tell me to my face. And Garcelle was like, but wait a minute. Isn't that exactly what you did to me when you waited until the reunion to jump in my face about me not paying the bill? And Kyle had a nerve to say, but I'm not the money person. I'm not the money person. Well, you didn't have no problem being the money person.
In that scene.
At the reunion, you sure knew all about the money at the reunion. And she said, well, I thought we were past that, Garcelle. And people piss me off with that. Here's the thing. I forgive, but I don't fucking forget. You and Garcelle have moved forward. But if the situation is appropriate, that was an appropriate example to what you're saying. You're trying to make it seem like you are always upfront with your friends, and you always tell your friends what's going on to justify what your ass did to Sutton last week. And that's not what you do. And Garcelle was just reminding you that that is not what you do. So stop acting like every time somebody brings up something that happened in the past, that means that they're not over it. No, I'm over it, but I need you to remember, and I need you to know that I know that you need to see how this is all connected. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. I see a problem with it.
Time will be soon. Okay. All right. Kyle has a whole charity foundation, and you don't know where the money going. Child, Kyle, she knew where that money was going when she showed her ass up at that reunion last year and made everybody aware that Garcelle hadn't paid that damn bill, when she could have called Garcelle, texted her, sent a smoke signal, put her to the side. She could have done a whole lot of things other than what she did. She purposely was trying to embarrass Garcelle at the reunion. That was purposeful. So don't sit here and act like you don't go behind people's back and you don't wait for a moment or an opportunity, because you do. Y'all all do. The fuck? Like, stop acting like you somebody that, but you all that was to justify what she did to Sutton last week. That is all that was. And like you said, y'all, creating the moment, creating the scene. Okay, so we had that happen. So the other scene that we had, that I feel like before we get to the party, was Kyle and Mauricio hosting PK and Dorit down to the guest house over at Kyle's place for dinner. We're gonna get to that.
Hoot and a holler.
We're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that. Y'all, you go ahead and start. I'm gonna let you have that one.
I just found it to be funny the way they read down on fucking Tom. That shit was hilarious. But it was also crazy because you can kind of see the wives looking like, no, don't say that. Wait, and you know what I'm saying? It's like the shit is funny, the shit is true, but they gonna play this back on purpose, and we gonna have to deal with it at the reunion. But I forget which one that said it, but they made a good point. Like, your husband is a lawyer. Why wouldn't you elect for them to do some type of head surgery on him because he need his brain in his line of work? He's not a soccer player. He don't need his fucking ankle. Y'all can wheel a motherfucker into the damn court and let him do what he got to do. When I tell you, I'm gonna play this.
Listen, when PK said, you mean they had to make a decision about whether to operate on his brain or his ankle? He's not a soccer player. He's a lawyer. I was like, listen. But what was hilarious to me, and because here's the thing, everybody in that room was worried about the playback except for PK. Everybody in that room was very conscious of how this was going to play during the season, except for PK. Dorit was like, I believe Erica. 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 Kyle was sitting there like, oh, this is going to be ugly. Mauricio was just high as hell. And PK was like, listen, I am going to be the voice of reason. Like, we are not going to sit here and act like we believe that bullshit ass story. You mean to tell me that you believe that story that Erica said? Like, you believe it? Okay. All right, then. And then when PK said, tell him about the car story. You know about the other car story? I was like, and when you think Dorit and Kyle used their husbands? I think that Dorit and Kyle were happy the fact that let me tell you something. I think they were absolutely happy with how that conversation went. I don't know if it was necessarily planned, but I definitely think that it was appreciated. Because you're right. He was PK was saying what they wish they could say. Hold on, y'all. Let me turn my ringer off. Was saying what Mauricio think they could say. I mean, what they think they could say. But PK let it go. He was just, and the one thing PK said, I think that she was in a marriage where she was controlled for a long time, and I think she's still being controlled. And I think that's it. I think that's very valid. I think that Erica is still being very well, except for on social media, which somebody really needs to take Erica's phone. Like, somebody really needs to take Erica Jayne's phone. Anyway, it's a train wreck, and you know better, Erica. Like, you absolutely fucking know better. I don't understand it. Like, I don't understand it. But anyway, so that happened. And did you catch listen, somebody brought this up. I saw this on Twitter. Remember a couple of episodes ago when Kathy Hilton said that she has a friend who always invites the same people and cooks the same meal for when she has a dinner party? And I was like, Kyle cooked that damn salmon at every time. We done seen Kyle cook salmon 20 times. I was like, ooh, Kathy, were you talking about your sister? Anyway.
Probably. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. Hell, Kyle don't look like she can cook.
But I don't think Kathy pretends like she cooks either. I think Kathy is very clear to let people know that she don't cook shit in her house. You know what I'm saying? Like, she told you what she liked to do. She said she likes to clean her own silverware and set her own place settings. Like, she said that's what makes her happy. And I believe it. Because you saw earlier in the season where she makes her own wreaths at Christmas time, and she makes wreaths for the family. I think she is very creative like that, and she likes doing that kind of stuff. But no, I don't think she has any interest in anything dealing with that kitchen. I think she makes the menu and lets them figure out how it's gonna happen. You know what I'm saying?
Well, she got that loan money, so she ain't trying to front.
You said what? She got that loan money. What?
Yeah, that loan money. So she ain't got a front.
Yeah. Oh yeah, long yeah. She ain't got to pretend about nothing. Like she ain't got to pretend about none of the shit that she does. Absolutely. So, oh shoot, did I? Hold on, real quick. Let me check something real quick, y'all. Cause YouTube be tripping sometimes. Hold on, let me check something. But so I think that's it before we get to the party at the end. What is that it? Do we get is that everything except for the party?
If not, it wasn't important.
Yeah, because it really won't nothing important. Okay. So we get to the party. First of all, can we talk about Lisa Runner not being able to walk in that damn dress? Okay, I guess not. So can you hear me? Yeah.
Yeah, okay, you can hear me?
Okay, I can hear you now. All right. So
Oh, okay.
okay, so everybody shows up. Dorita's there, and she's actually wearing one of the dresses, which that dress I think is actually probably one of my favorites. The one that she was wearing. His connection is going in and out, or my connection is going in and out.
It could be mine. I wouldn't be surprised.
I don't know. I just couldn't hear you a second ago, but I can hear you now, so we're gonna roll with it. So, if it's my connection going in and out, y'all let me know. So we get there, and again, and they actually both at times. So mine and his is going out. Oh damn. Oh, that's crazy. So, everybody is there with their spouses, and those who didn't have spouses bought a companion. So Sutton bought somebody with her. Kathy bought somebody with her. And you know, the gang's all here. Garcelle was there, Erica was there, you know, everybody was there. And we had like a little mini fashion show, you know, where Dorit's daughter was the flower girl, and that was cute. And then we had the fashion show with the models coming through and her describing the gown. Now listen, let me say this. That pearl dress was $35,000. That is a very limited clientele with a $35,000 dress. I mean, I don't know who she's selling these dresses under. I don't know who buying those dresses. I mean, they were nice, you know. But who's buying the dresses? I don't know. But anyway, that's what we had got on the front end. Now on the back end, everybody ate dinner. PK ass was still clowning Erica Jayne and basically was threatening to start talking again. He said that Dorit told him he couldn't have a drink because if he had a drink, he was going to start talking shit. And I believe it. I believe Dorit told his ass, you cannot drink anything to the end of the night. I absolutely believe that. Right. Vera Wang dresses ain't even $35,000. I was like, $35,000? Girl, who you selling that dress to? Like, really? Like, who? That's a once in a lifetime. Like, that's just crazy to me. She doesn't have any clients. No one wants her stuff. Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, are you selling it under another fashion house that's already established? And people like, who is going to Dorit Kimsley to buy their damn wedding dress for $35,000? Girl, if you don't take your happy ass over to David's Bridal and keep it pushing. What's up, Virgin Love? Hey. So we get to the end of the night. All of the guys go outside. Harry Hamlin shows up, who I love Harry. I don't know how the hell he puts up with Lisa, but I love Harry. I feel like Harry just showed up to promote his new film where he's going to be playing Tom Brokaw. I feel like that's the only reason why he was there. Because we ain't seen Harry Hamlin in 3 seasons. I mean, not in a scene. Like, we saw him cooking and shit like that. But when have we seen Harry Hamlin, like, interacting with the ladies? We seen him interacting with his wife. But when have we seen him do this shit? The husband shit. You know what I'm saying?
But we really don't see the husbands interacting with the women that much in general.
Right, on this show. Right. On this show, the husbands are not as active as on this show.
Jersey.
Like in New Jersey, they very much are a part of everything. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? But anyway, Harry's there.
That's your favorite show with your favorite husbands. We know.
I know that was the best thing about y'all making me watch New Jersey was them husbands, honey. I love them husbands, honey. But anyway, so it's the end of the night, and all the guys are outside smoking cigars, and they getting their little drink on. And the ladies are inside. First of all, can we talk about the fact that Kathy Hilton was like, "Who is this old man?" when they was when all the memes was going around about Bernie Sanders? So that tells me a couple of things about Kathy Hilton, that you pay absolutely zero attention to politics. Because that meme went, it wasn't even just people who were into politics. Like everybody knew that was the Bernie Sanders meme. Well, I shouldn't say everybody, but anyway, she didn't know who the hell it was. It was a cute little Kiki. Then we get down to business. Kyle stirring the damn pot gonna say, well, yeah, Garcelle, you went viral today too, didn't you? And Garcelle was like, what you talking about? Well, I mean, you made a comment. You said you felt like the ladies were coming for you this season. And Dorit asked, Kyle, why would you say you felt like we were coming for you? Kyle was like, because you are. You literally came for me last week. Like literally, it just happened. What are you talking about? And her thing was, I did that interview right after Lisa's event, and so I was in my feelings, and that's what I said because that's how I felt. Okay, y'all say his connection is acting up, so if he comes back in, do you want me to take you out and you try to come back in, or what you want to do? I'm gonna take you out and then let you try to come back in. All right, I'm gonna let him try to come back in. So Dorit and Garcelle get into a conversation, and Garcelle says and I feel like Garcelle is saying the same thing she always says. I just don't know what other answer they want from her. Her thing is, listen, I do not feel like y'all are there for me. I do not feel like I am fully included in this circle of girls, of women, of ladies. I feel like an outsider. Now, some of that might be her own insecurities, but some of that is legit how they make her feel about certain things. And like she said, when that whole thing went down in Palm Springs, like everybody was Team Erica, even after Crystal has repeatedly said that it wasn't intentional what I did, because I absolutely did not know that Erica asked us not to repeat that statement. I also feel like production set her up with that one too. I feel like that was a production thing. So you got to give production a little bit of that. And I know she can't say that, publicly. Let me see if you're, because I don't know if you went out and came back in. Y'all, you there? I can hear something,
but can you hear me?
I can hear you now. All right. So how do you feel about
cool.
So how you feel about when Dorit asked Garcelle, why do you say, or if you feel like people are attacking you, and Garcelle was like, because you literally are attacking me. Tell me how you feel about that.
I don't like how, I don't want to say they're gaslighting her because I don't necessarily think that's what that was, but I don't like when people diminish what people are feeling. Because there's one thing, like there's the truth, but then there's also how somebody feels.
Right.
Now, how somebody feels may not necessarily be the truth, but it's their truth. And trying to
Exactly.
sit here and diminish that, I didn't like that. I didn't like that
Right.
because they could have asked her, can you go into detail? Can you explain? Can we get to the root of this so we don't continue to make you feel this way?
And that's
So,
what I would
yeah,
have
I
rather
wasn't here
they
for
had
that.
done. I would rather that have been the conversation, for them to say, well, can you please explain to me what you mean? Like, what is it that we've done to make you feel like an outsider, or to make you feel like you are not included? Like, explain to us what we've done. Right, exactly, Natalia. Just because you invited me to the party didn't mean I felt welcome at the party. You know, Dorit talking about, don't take jabs at me. Just tell me if you think I'm talking too much. Just say I'm talking too much. You literally stopped speaking to Kyle not once but twice because Kyle told you talk too much. So stop acting like you can take the criticism. Stop acting like you're okay with somebody telling you when you're doing something they don't like, because you can't and you don't. You literally stopped talking to Kyle twice because Kyle tried to tell you that. So that's the thing that's the shit that I'm talking about. Like, don't sit here and tell me, well, all you have to do is say that you don't and I don't feel like Garcelle makes jabs that are any different than the rest of the people make. I don't feel like her jabs are any different than anybody else's. Hey, little baby. Hey, girl.
Hey guys. Hey wonderful people out there in the world.
You showed
So
up
Am I
just in
late?
time because we're on the cusp. No,
yeah,
we're on
you
the
late, but
cusp.
we late, but we probably at the part you want to put your 2 cents on. The two things I'm sure you want to speak on are one, Erica's story about the home invasion, and what the part we're on now, because we're at the part at the end of the episode where Dorit and Garcelle get into it, and Garcelle is trying to let them know that she still feels like an outsider, and she feels like she is not, included in the group, and Dorit is trying to tell her that basically she don't have a right to her feelings. Okay. So I'm gonna let you go off about Erica's story first, because I know you got some shit to say. So how did you feel about this car accident that flipped over 6 times, and her husband playing ninja, American Ninja Warrior, and um confronting the burglars, and it stirred up his glaucoma. I ain't never heard no shit like that in my life, but go ahead. I'm gonna let you speak on it.
I felt like we were missing the coyote and road runner in this story. If we would have had that little element, I believe it would have made sense.
Girl, not the coyote and the roadrunner. I thought she was gonna say, I feel like we was missing some parts. I was like, yeah, we were. She said the coyote and the roadrunner, girl.
Yeah, I think we could. I think we would have been able to comprehend that. Yeah, we would have.
Do you okay? Now I do know that there is a report of the break-in. Do you think any of the story got my candle, y'all? Do you think any of the story is true?
Well, we have the report that actually happened. Um, the snow part, I know Northern California gets snow, but people who live in LA said that they got snow January 23rd or 25th or something like that.
Mm. So and again, I listen. I ain't about to sit here and pull out the almanac and play weatherman, but I am going to say that if it snowed one day last winter, that was the one day that was the same day that his house got broken into, and her son went to go check on him and flipped his car 6 times. Like, come on, Erica. Listen, you got the worst luck in the world if all that shit is to be true. I think that both stories have a semblance of truth. I do not.
Hmm.
I do not believe that they all happened in connection.
Me either. And because I was just watching another channel. What sense does it make? And I get Erica has to come film for this show, but your son's car flipped over 6,000 times, and yet you're here filming for a show, and then you saying that, oh, he's fine, he walked out fine. And listen, stuff like that happens. Like, we
Right.
hear stuff about that all the time. People's cars flipped over several thousand times and then they walk away from it, no injuries. But then it's like, it's so coincidental, as PK pointed out, that Tom is falling off this slippery slope and now your son is.
And who
So,
called her? She said that they called her at 3 in the morning. Who called you, ma'am? Was it the car? I mean, was it the house, the home alarm company? Was it the police? Like, because again, I said earlier, she technically is still his next of kin. But who called you, ma'am? Cameron
I just
said
wish you
no
would
one was
tell
in
the
the
truth.
house when it got broken into. Child. I just want to know how that sparked his glaucoma. Like, I ain't never heard, and again, I'm nobody's doctor. I didn't go to nobody's eye school, but I ain't never heard of some, maybe it was stress that set off the I mean, and is that
But
emergency
glaucoma is
surgery?
an but having that
Is elective.
done, right, it's elective. Even having cataract surgery, that's elective. You don't have to get your cataracts removed.
Right. Because
Well, okay, really, B. You may not be, a doctor and whatnot, but neither is Erica to say and to be able to say head surgery isn't as important as ankle surgery. So if she can make those type of calls, because obviously she got a degree somewhere, you can too.
okay, well, thank you. Thank you for your permission. I appreciate you. So, yeah, we talked about, and again, that is how I feel about the story. I think that elements of both of those stories did happen. I just don't think they happen in connection. And I think that there's a lot that she's not telling us. There's a lot
It's
that's
a whole
missing
lot.
from those
It's
stories.
even going back, I gotten more information about, recently, the car accident story. A lot of people believe that didn't happen because, we were like, where's the police report? No one heard about an ambulance coming to the scene. Like, this is something serious for an 80-something-year-old man to be ejected from a car after he dove off of a cliff.
Yep.
So this is what I heard actually happened. Tom had parked somewhere he wasn't supposed to park, and he slid a little bit too much to the left and rolled down the hill. And the neighbor down the hill found him, called Erica. Erica was like, don't call 911. Hence why we ain't hear nothing about an ambulance and no police report. Also, I remember thinking, don't you call a tow company? Who getting the car out from over the cliff? Because she don't have the machinery. We never heard anything about that, which is why she can now take him to the ER and say, don't perform any surgery on his head. Because possibly, depending on how severe it was, they possibly monitored him overnight, kept an overnight visit.
But can I ask a question too?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and I know we're doing a lot of conjecture here, but the police call you. I mean, your neighbor calls you and says, "Listen, your husband dumbass and drove over the cliff." Your next statement is, "Don't call 911." My next statement would be, "Did you call 911?"
But see, that is why it was never in the news. She wanted, maybe the mistress was with him and she possibly didn't want 911 called because then the cover would be blown. Thomas cheating on her. And now people have another glimpse into that life of theirs. The mistress probably was in the car with him. Mm-hmm. They were probably coming home from an evening of whining and dining. And Tom, that's probably what happened. That is most likely what happened. That sounds more plausible than this 80-some-year-old man nose diving off of a cliff, waving at Snoopy on his way down.
Waving at Snoopy. What?
Like, man, that sounds more plausible. Because the one thing about this that we have learned, we have not been watching Erica Girardi. We have been watching Erica Jayne.
That's correct.
And she does not want that mask ripped off of hell.
Honey. So anyway, that is what that had. So that was the first thing. I was going to let you get that out. Now we're down to the other part. I know you may want to have a comment on the dinner party. PK, Mauricio, Kyle, and Dorit. Anything you want to add, subtract, or divide from that conversation?
I just want a PK drunk.
You say you want him drunk because he was drunk.
Hell yeah. But I wanted him drunker.
What more was he going to say? He tore that thing up. He tore Erica ass up.
He need to do it more.
But I feel like, listen, I'm going to be honest with you. I feel like PK ain't seen it for Erica since season 1 when they had that whole, I mean, not season 1, but their first season when they had that whole Pantygate situation. I feel like he ain't seen it for Erica since. He been playing nice for the purposes of the show. But I feel like now he got an opportunity to say what he really got to say. Because I feel like he ain't seen it for her. That's just me. I don't believe any mistress stories because what I heard, he did anything for her. So why would he need a mistress when he puts it all in the work to keep her happy? I'm going to say this. I don't know if there was or wasn't a mistress, but if there was, I think Erica knew about it and was fully in the loop. I think it was
absolutely.
I think it was okay, go find you somebody to lay with at night because you ain't laying with me. Like, I don't believe for a minute that Erica is so heartbroken and hurt that her husband had a mistress, because I believe she had herself a little something. He just keeps her quiet. Erica was doing a J-Lo and a Britney Spears and was messing around with her background dancers, honey. You ain't gonna convince me otherwise. I don't believe it and I don't care what nobody say. So I don't think that Erica's feelings was so hurt and hurt. Oh, yes, he had a mistress. Girl, if he did, you knew he did.
Absolutely. Most of them know. Most of them know that their men have other women, but because the life is so cushy and comfy, they ain't gonna say nothing. They ain't gonna do nothing about it.
Erica and Tom, I think, have long since moved out of marriage and into business arrangement a long time ago. That's just my opinion. That's just my opinion. All right, well, let's get to this last scene. This is where we were with Garcelle and Dorit. And Garcelle telling Dorit that she feels like she's an outsider and that she's not fully included in the group. That's how she feels. And Dorit trying to tell her that is not how she feels. Go ahead and say your 2 cents. Me and y'all and already spoke on a little bit.
Are we going to forget and pretend like this wasn't supposed to be the season that they went after Garcelle? but
Girl,
Erica stuff took precedent, and so they had to move away from that. This was the season they were going to go after Garcelle like they went after Denise. And Garcelle had even said, Renna told her, the second season is when you're basically, for lack of better words, put to the test. And so Garcelle had asked her, so that means you coming for me next season? Renna didn't reply, but that's what that meant.
Mm.
So yes, she's on the outside. She is on the outside, her and Sutton. Garcelle ain't dumb. She sees it for what it is.
absolutely. Oh, I absolutely listen. My thing is this. Yocrates brought up a good point a little while ago, and I agree. And I was going to double down on it and say that was a lot like the conversation we had yesterday about the whole Fat Joe thing with Lil Mo and Remy Ma. Remy Ma is going to tell Lil Mo that she not offended just because she accepted Fat Joe's apology in private. And all Lil Mo was saying was, apologize to me the same way you disrespected me. If you disrespected me publicly, then you need to apologize to me publicly. That's it. That's all.
Yeah.
And I feel like it was the same thing with Garcelle and with Dorit. Stop telling me what I am and am not offended by. Stop telling me how I feel. Just because you don't think you're doing things to make me feel a certain way, stop doing that. Let's not forget how they came for you, Dorit, your second season with the whole Puppygate situation. That whole Puppygate situation was all about Dorit and how horrible she was to the damn dog. That was her second season. So, girl, miss me with that. Dorit gets on my nerves with that bullshit. And she talking about some, I speak 4 languages, and that doesn't make sense in any of them. Girl, if you don't go sit your ass down.
I didn't know why she felt the need to mention she speaks 4
But she
languages
does
in
that
that
all the
moment.
time. She always feels the need to add shit that is unnecessary. Well, like last year when they went to Italy. Well, I lived here and yada yada yada, boo boo boo. Like it's like you feel the need to add shit that nobody asked you for. Yeah, because they went after Denise and ran her off, and they was going to get Garcelle. Yeah, Erica saved Garcelle this season. We know that. I'm only surprised Tom is still balancing mistresses in his 80s. Child. And that's not to say that Tom did not have any mistresses, but I'm going to say I don't think it was like Erica is trying to make it out to be, and I don't think Erica didn't know about it. Sorry, not sorry, and I don't think she was hurt by it either. Anyway. Well, that was the episode. We left off there. I'm sure next week, I'm going to tell you the only thing that I'm irritated with is that I feel like next week we're talking about the same shit. The previews for next week, we see Garcelle once again talking to the ladies about how she's the outsider and she feels like an outsider and she feels like they do come for her. And then we see Sutton once again trying to explain herself to Erica. I'm tired of the conversation at this point. If that's all we got, then let's just get to the damn reunion because I'm done with it. Sutton did what she did, and I don't think Sutton was wrong for it. And I think it was fucked up how them girls threw Sutton under the bus and let her take all the heat for that bullshit. And Garcelle, you've said it once, you've said it twice, now you've said it 3 times, and either they get it or they don't. I'm sick of it. So I hope it's more to next week's episode than that, because if that's what it is, then I'm just ready for the reunion.
Well, what I am more irritated by is Kyle playing producer for us to have these conversations again. And that is what I want them to get into her ass about.
Y'all said that.
Didn't I say that?
Y'all said that earlier. That's exactly what y'all said earlier. That's exactly what he said earlier. She said that to basically try to imply that Garcelle was uneducated. Well, Garcelle speaks at least 2 languages because she speaks Haitian. They speak
Haitian Creole.
Right? French Creole, right?
Yeah, Haitian Creole.
Yeah, so she speaks at least 2 languages. So, I mean, girl, go sit down somewhere. You're not the only one that's bilingual around this bitch. Go sit your ass down, child.
Yeah, I just want somebody to get into Kyle because I hate her expressions. I hate how she's running around here talking about how she doesn't believe these unbelievable stories, but she's going to believe her. That's what
Oh, is that
what
it
does
was?
Erica have on them?
That's what it was. Pook's wife, she said Dorit felt like she had to one-up Garcelle because we found out last week that Garcelle spoke another language when they were doing the Haitian dinner. That might have been it.
I can't believe that.
I could believe that too. That might have been it. That might have been it. So let's get into some of this other stuff. So reports from the reunion. The reunion was filmed this weekend. And a couple of little things that I've gotten through the grapevine. Garcelle speaks 3 languages. Yeah, so girl, like you're not doing nothing. Girl, go sit your ass down. So reports from the reunion, there were no walk-offs. So everybody stood in their shit and took it. There were nobody. They said that there was at least 2 breakdowns. One was Erica. The second one, I'm gonna say, was probably Sutton.
I was gonna say Cal, but okay.
Breakdown, but Sutton, child. Whose votes for Sutton?
You know what? I don't think Sutton. I think Sutton saw this season back and was like, she's not gonna do that.
Who do you
saw how
the played? Who do you think the second one was in the chat? Y'all tell me. That we know that one of the breakdowns was Erica. Erica, they said, had a moment and she had a breakdown. You know, a lot of crying type of thing. Who do y'all think the second one was? My vote is Sutton. Who's y'all's vote?
I'm gonna have to go with y'all. Say Kyle.
Kyle.
Because she plays production.
We know Kyle like to cry. I mean,
she plays production. She does that, and I hate it. I loathe it.
PK put Kyle out there in front of Erica. Yeah, you saw Kyle. Listen, you saw how scared Kyle was. And when she thought she was scared as hell when she thought that PK was going to start talking that shit in front of Erica. Child, Kyle was scared as hell.
But ma'am, you don't believe her. And instead of you all having the balls to say that, first off, how dare you get mad at me for having reasoning skills?
Child.
I mean, based off of what Bethany Frankel exposed, Cal already knew the truth.
Of course.
Well, we're gonna get to Bethany in a minute.
Pisses me off.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I'm just trying to get through to the reunion tease, and then we're gonna get on Miss Bethany, honey. Oh. Okay, so that was what I heard. I also heard that Dorit gets into it with Garcelle. That Lisa Rinna and Garcelle get into it.
Yeah, because Lisa still want to say Garcelle knew what she was doing in that moment and whoop-de-woo. And it's like, right. that was Rinna trying to be the Garcelle to Erica as Garcelle was to Denise.
Mm-hmm.
That's what that was. And isn't it convenient how that heifer now apologizes to
she Denise? Sure did. I was going to listen. You took the words right out of my mouth. On Watch What Happened last night, she acknowledges that she did a little bit too much with Denise Richards, and she did apologize. But my thing is, too little, too late, bitch.
Very much so.
Because you at this point, because I think what it is at this point is that I think they're going to bring Denise back next season because Denise has
see that.
Because Denise has publicly stated that she would come back, and Andy Cohen has publicly stated that he would bring her back. And y'all know how this shit goes with Real Housewives. They throwing those teasers out to see what we want, we see what we think and how we feel about it. And I think Erica is worried that Denise might bring her ass back on next season, especially if for whatever reason Erica can't film or chooses not to film next season. They're going to need another explosive storyline. And I could definitely see them bringing, because people are still mad about this whole Denise Richards situation. So absolutely. I can definitely see them bringing Denise back.
I can see that, especially since Crystal has turned out to be a disappointment. Is it me or is she now wallpaper?
She's a dud. She's a dud. And she's an annoying dud. Like,
yeah,
Tammy was a dud, but she was annoying because she became Kyle's puppet. But I understood why she became Kyle's puppet, because she was trying to save her job, child. She figured if she was friends with Kyle, it would keep her on the show. Sort of like Robin does with Giselle. But no, it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough. It wasn't enough.
Cameron, it is crazy. Like you and this woman have 20 plus years of history. You were there when she birthed her children, when she went through that nasty marriage and divorce with Charlie. She was there for you, for your kids. Like, you all have real history. Erica, Jayne, y'all don't know. Let's be clear. They don't know that woman. They don't know her marriage. They don't know nothing about her. All they know is she is this persona and she's married to this powerful attorney. And it was evident because they didn't even know she was going to file for divorce from the man.
Okay.
And I get it. You don't tell your friends everything. There are certain people we tell things to, certain people we don't tell things to, and some stuff that we just hold tight to our chest and carry to our grave. The only person we telling is the lady in the lake.
Ooh, not the lady in the lake.
But Erica walked around in front of these women who they all say they're friends with and shared none of her life. They don't know her.
No, they
All they
don't.
know is they scared of her. So scared they won't even question the blatant lie in front of her, in front of their faces.
That's what Auntie Natalia just said. Erica's powerful. What makes Erica this powerful that you need to be scared of her? I don't know, but they are. They act like they are scared of that woman. They really do.
I'm trying to understand myself. I want to know what she has on Renner. I want to know what she has on Kyle. I want to know what she has on Dorit and PK. Like, outside of Dorit and PK's finances, which we all know about, what else is going on? Because they
Right,
have nothing on her.
right, Natalia, and that's bullshit because we know for a fact that Lisa Rinna and Denise were real friends in real life for years before any Housewives bullshit. You
Lisa
kicked her
and
to the curb for this
Denise and
bullshit.
Garcelle were on Lisa Rinna's reality show she had a while back with Harry Hamlin. It was basically about Harry Hamlin trying to revive his acting career, trying to get back into the game.
Oh, I don't
And
even
they
remember
were
that.
there at a party. I saw a clip of it. Denise and Garcelle. So that shows you how long they known each other, that these are real friendships. This ain't no fly by night mess we met on this show and we're just getting to know one another. No. They known each other from being in the industry all these years. They have stories.
Yeah, they know each other. Yeah. So now, so that's what that's the tea I got from the reunion. Like I said, it was filmed. So do they have the air date yet? How many more weeks we got of this? Because we were on episode 17. We can't have too much more. Because once
We may
they
have
film
3 more
we
episodes
usually only
then.
have a couple of more weeks. Yeah. Once they
We may
film the
have 2 or
reunion,
3.
yeah, because they try to show as much of the season before the reunion gets filmed. So I feel like we only had like maybe 2 or 3 more episodes. So
You
let's
think
get
it's
into
gonna be a
this.
4-part reunion?
I feel like
Probably.
they're gonna try, child. The first and it's gonna be some bullshit because I'm sure that 80% of it we ain't gonna care nothing about. Um, what's up, Zara? Hey, everybody. So for those who do not know, Bethany Frankel, who was on the Real Housewives of New York, was on the Real Housewives of New York, she has a podcast, and on her podcast recently, she blasted the dog fuck out of Erica and Tom. Now, she went on to drop some nuggets and talk about the fact that her ex-fiance, who committed suicide a few years ago, told her, and that's part of my problem is you are putting all this on a man who can't say that it did or didn't happen, but whatever, that allegedly Tom Girardi owed him $500,000, and he had another friend that Tom owed $1.5 million to. He said that Erica and Tom are broke. It is all a facade. And when Bethany asked him, well, how are they flying around in private jets and how are they doing this and doing that? Allegedly, his response was because he's spending other people's money. Bethany then says that she told Kyle Richards, she told Lisa Rinna, and she also told Andy Cohen that Erica Girardi is a phony and that they don't have any money and that there is, it's all fake. It's not real. Now, let me say this before I'm going to pause and let y'all put y'all 2 cents in. But let me say all of this. We've heard for years that, like, this isn't new information that Tom was
Nothing
broke. Like,
new.
we heard that a couple of years ago. So I believe Bethany when she says that the rumors were out there. If you go back to the beginning of this season, we said that earlier in the season that we know that the rumors were out there, that they were broke. Because if we heard the damn rumors, I damn sure know that the movers and shakers in LA knew the damn rumors. That's why.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Now go ahead, y'all, and then little baby, y'all speak on it.
I mean, I was here for it. I was flabbergasted. I'm just like, damn, you really just sat here and you just shot off a whole fucking clip. And the thing is, it wasn't just that she was hitting Erica, she was hitting the women on both franchises of New York and Beverly Hills, making it clear they act like they got it, but they really ain't got it. I was just
Oh, it
like,
shows on New York.
I'm like, oh, you just telling everything. And the reason that it came out is allegedly, apparently, her and Cal had just fell out. So that's why she told everything she told, because everybody's like, why you ain't saying this before? Because they just feel the reunion. And this would have been some good stuff to have leading into the reunion. But she just recently fell out with Kyle, which I'm like, normally I'm one of those where, okay, well, if you fall out with me and it's the first thing you do, it made me question things, but then it's Kyle. So fuck Kyle. But I was here
Oh,
for it.
all right, little baby.
I mean, ag- these have been open secrets about Tom and Erica. It was an open secret that Tom Girardi was broke. It was an open secret that Tom Girardi did not pay his clients. But because Tom Girardi had so much power in the state of California, from the California bar to several politicians to judges, DAs, and whomever else worked in the legal system and in politics, nobody did anything. You did not want to be the lawyer to go up against Tom Girardi because he could pull strings to have you disbarred and possibly never ever practice nowhere in the state of California ever again. Like he had that amount of power. And maybe he went beyond the state of California. Maybe he went into Nevada. But that was an open secret. So again, I'm not saying Erica Girardi knew every little thing Tom was doing with their money, but for Erica Girardi to pretend like she was unaware of the goings on when everybody around her is saying, y'all broke, he don't pay his clients, whoop de whoop de whoop. Ma'am, you can't do it to me. I'm all the way here in Florida and I heard that news. I
Right.
don't even know nobody over there and I heard that. So you right there in the midst of it and you ain't hear nothing. It seems to me you choosing not to hear it.
Facts. And I'm gonna say this for me. I found it going back to the point you just made. I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought. Going back to the point you just made, because what we just found out, well, y'all brought it to me right before we went live. Oh, okay. Right before we went live, Bethany is now over to her Twitter doing a little bit of backpedaling and pussy popping. Now, what I think is
Mhm.
somebody that called her. Now, whether it was Tom Girardi calling her, threatening her, or whether it was some lawyers saying, "Oh, you have information about this case, you have facts," because what the type of stuff she was saying wasn't rumor and innuendo. She was saying that I had a conversation that this is what was happening, and I told these people that this is what was happening, and I like the shit that she was saying was deep. It was some real shit, and I'm sitting here now thinking you might have opened up your mouth and wrote a check that maybe your behind can't cash, ma'am. So she
And
was over to the Twitter backpedaling and the pussy popping.
she
Now,
can't
what do you
backtrack
think
that. She
that's
can't
about?
backtrack the truth. Everybody done heard that truth. Not just
What
It's
from
do
her.
you think that
She
she
ain't the
got to
first one
it's
to
fall
say it.
for?
not it's not that she was backtracking the truth. She was trying to frame it rather than
Different.
saying that she was trying to frame it like to say, you know, when you have what, when you don't have people stunting, and this is the perception, how you have to keep up with it. She was trying to lean more because she did mention that, so she was trying to lean more towards that. But it's like, but you still said all the other stuff.
But that also goes into Sutton. Remember, she said she had the conversation with her husband. I believe Sutton's lawyer is in finances, or he's a lawyer also. But nonetheless, he rolls in powerful circles like the Tom Girardis, and he
Mm-hmm.
heard unsavory things about Tom Girardi and the goings on around there. And he told Sutton, she said she read that article ad nauseum. Then got on the phone with her husband and said, look here, what kind of legal ramification can I face? Because for one, earlier this year, I offered this woman money to aid in her separating from this man in
Sure
that
did.
divorce. How could this blow back on me? This was on camera.
Absolutely. And like Dorit said, Dorit was like, Erica, every time they write an article about what's going on, they mention us. And that's a fact. Every article talks about the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. It may not call them by name, but it talks about the show. And that's a fact. And that's a fact.
Well, but we can't forget the one other name that was mentioned. Well, first and foremost, she framed it and said they knew back in 2017. But then she also said Andy knew. I'm like, oh, Booger should have
Oh
come
yeah,
on.
because
No, you
Andy
in
is
trouble.
her good friend. Andy is her good friend. That's a yeah, that's a good Judy. Yeah.
Baby. So we're going
But
to see.
again,
Go ahead.
Erica said she walked into that kitchen with her name on that lawsuit. Hello. So, there were people who would call in to watch what happens live and send in questions to the reunion about Tom's lawsuits. Erica would just blow it over and they all would join in with the whole, well, we agreed to never discuss our husband's legal issues. That's why Beverly Hills real surface. They got a whole lot of mess going on in the blog.
I'm going to say, because all of them got some legal issues, child.
Right.
Shit.
We hear about Mauricio stuff all the time. Mauricio had a whole agency closed, and it wasn't due to the pandemic. He was doing stuff prior. The people were already fleeing. The rats were leaving the ship.
Same thing with PK, but I feel like that's why PK keeps bringing up his bankruptcies, because he was like, you're not going to spray me with my own tea. I'm going to put all my shit out there.
Absolutely.
Just so y'all did. Right. I feel like that's what PK is doing. I feel like he's like, listen, I'm putting my own shit out there because y'all ain't going to come. Y'all ain't coming for me. Okay?
Well, not just that, not just coming to him, but coming to his wife, because if he puts it out there, you really can't hit her with it at the reunion because he already just talked about it. So that's an empty bullet right there, just like it ain't shooting nothing. But I think he was also trying to do the whole validity thing where it's just like, I have experience in this field. So he was trying to throw it out there like you not doing the right thing. And if Frito Lay's was a good friend, she would have went to her and been like, you moving kind of foul, you might want to switch it up.
Absolutely. Again, they're not friends.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
You girls aren't friends.
Any final words? Because we getting ready to wrap this up. That was this week's episode. It really wasn't a whole lot there until the end. We got another story from Erica, and it was just basically how everybody reacted to that bullshit. Any final words on Erica, the reunion, Bethany?
My final words are fuck Kyle. Fuck Kyle. And she can drink battery gas.
Okay. All right. Little baby.
I just hope we get a pot of gold story or a beanstalk in Erica's next one.
Listen, she gonna meet the leprechaun on the yellow brick road on her way to the forest, okay? I mean, damn, girl. I don't know what to tell you.
I don't know what to say.
Listen. Anyway, child. Well, that's what it is. I feel production is responsible for a lot of these situations because I don't believe doesn't talk about Kyle's husband's situation. Oh, I'm sure they do. I'm sure they do.
But I do think that part of the reason we ain't heard nothing about Mauricio is maybe Kyle cut a deal with the producers. I do your dirty work, you don't break up my husband.
Oh, not the next story. Tom becomes a Power Ranger. Listen, I mean, I do believe, again, going back to, I mean, we can look at every franchise and we know that there are a lot of stories that they don't approach until their back is to the wall. Because let's remember, these stories about Tom have been floating around and they weren't brought on the show. You know, we can look at The Real Housewives of Potomac. Those stories about Jamal were floating around and they weren't brought on the show until the reunion. You know, it happens until, you know, the rumors and stuff, it happens on all of those shows until I think in some, not everybody's case, because we know some people are friends of production and some people are not. But I think on a lot of these franchises, it comes down to, and let's also remember that they can always hide behind, well, I can't really talk about that because it's a legal situation. Like a lot of them hide behind that, and that's valid because that's what Erica should be doing. Erica really should be shutting the fuck up because she really should. She needs to get off of social media. She shouldn't have filmed this season, just like Jen Shaw. Her lawyers asked her not to film this season, and she refused to do it. So you're not doing yourself any favor by talking about an ongoing legal situation. And I feel like a lot of them hide behind that. I mean, Kyle probably hides behind, I don't really know anything going on with that. That's my husband's business, and I don't really want to talk about it. It's a pending legal action, and I feel like she gets away with that. And I feel like a lot of them get away with that too. Because if you can look at, you know, again, we've seen this happen on other franchises, and they skirt stuff until they sort of have to talk about it.
Yeah.
For certain people,
like
for certain people.
The little bit of difference with Jen is Jen but had this end goal of being the Teresa of this franchise, and she was going to come. Right. But the difference is Teresa had a fan base when all of this went down. Number two, Teresa was not the mastermind behind any of this. Okay. Homeland Security did not have to investigate her. Okay. That's number two. And also Jen thinks she's gonna be the Teresa. She's gonna have the show. She came in with this larger than life persona. Thought people were gonna take to it. Remember, like the glass throwing? That's something Teresa did in a previous season. A lot of stuff she did mimic Teresa, and she was gonna possibly do jail time and then come back out and she'll get to rebrand herself and do X, Y, and Z. But again, Teresa already had a fan base. Teresa had things that Jen Shaw did not have, and that's what Jen Shaw is banking on.
And I think Teresa and Jen Shaw's situation is totally different.
It's totally different. Teresa, she did things her husband told her to do. Jen Shaw mastermind a national wire fraud. Like,
right. And according to Emily Baker, shouts out to Emily Baker. You guys, if y'all don't follow her, go over and check out her YouTube page. She's an attorney, and she breaks down a lot of these legal cases for all these different shows. And when you go over there, tell her I sent you. Put it in the comments. Say ReallyBTV sent you. Go ahead and do that. Anyway, according to her, everybody in Jen Shaw's case, for the exception of I think 2 people, have flipped. And so
absolutely,
at the end of the day, you about to get all of it because everybody is flipping on you. You need to make, like, you should have been the first person to make a deal, but you're gonna be one of the last people to make a deal. It ain't gonna be nothing left to make a deal with, and everybody is pointing their fingers at you, including your assistant, who is all over TV saying, "I just do what she tells me to do. I just do what she tells me to do," and he has already flipped on her. So Jen is in a lot of trouble.
She think the shit cute. No, ma'am. They looking at putting you in prison. I don't know if you're going to be in a maximum security or not, but you going to prison. Okay. You have to serve time.
Yeah. Bravo and Real Housewives of Beverly Hills staff are almost the same entity currently. It probably is a lot of overlap. One, because they right there in LA, but it probably is a whole lot of overlap. Well, no, Andy is in New York. So I don't know. But yeah, I can believe it though.
I will say Jen does have a chance of redemption only for this reason. Andy is not going to let another network make money off her story. Because that same thing with Teresa. Like, for me, I wouldn't have brought her back. Like, I wouldn't look at the felon over here. But then she does have a fan base, but not just that. Money can be made with that redemption story and her coming back. Plus, I think she only did what, like maybe a little bit over a year. Jen's going behind the motherfucker jail.
Yeah, Jen's gonna be there for a minute. Jen is in trouble, and I ain't nobody's lawyer, but it just don't look good.
By the time she get out, Housewives may no longer be a thing.
Child, it don't look good. It don't look good. Coach Shaw gonna send her divorce papers in jail. He gonna wait for the case to be over and then he gonna divorce her.
Pretty
Her
much.
sons, whose age she can't even remember. Did y'all see her forget how old her son was, child? I was like, weren't you there in the delivery room?
Well, she wasn't at the hospital with her aunt, so I guess she wasn't there with that
Oh,
boy.
Child, I just saw where T just dropped the T Action News. I gotta go over there and check it out. Where they saying that she stole from her aunt or something. Because you know the auntie that
I heard that too.
passed. So I gotta go get the T on that, honey.
I
I gotta
heard
get
that.
the T on
Listen, I
that.
wouldn't put it
Hmm.
past her. We talking about a grade A thief. She was still the draws off your ass.
Listen, I
Oh,
believe
oh,
it.
what?
I
I'm
believe it,
sorry.
honey. Well, let me get ready to get off of here. It's been an hour and a half. I thank y'all as always for coming through. Thank you, my special guests, Yocrates and Lil Baby. I apologize that I sent out those links late, but listen,
Well, thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure.
thank you for being here. Thank you. Did you get your last word, Yocrates? I'm sorry. I know Lil Baby did. Did you get your final words in? Oh, yes, you did, because you said fuck Kyle. Yeah, you got it. Okay.
Yeah, I said no, 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 no. That's not what I said. What I
Oh,
said
Lord.
was fuck Kyle, and she can drink battery acid. That's what I said.
Got it. Got it. And on that note, thank you. God bless you. Good night.
Bye,
Good night,
everybody.
John Boy.